Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Read With Me. Today I have come with another one short story from the collection called 3000 Stitches, which is written by Sudha Murty. So let's start. A Day in Infosys Foundation. Shobha is one of my school friends. In a small town like Hubli, it is common for close friends to become as comfortable with each other as siblings. As life usually turns out, we walk down different paths, and Shobha settled down in Hubli while I moved to Bangalore. Her children, like many others in Karnataka, became software engineers and moved to Bangalore. So Shobha frequented the city to visit her children and often called on me whenever possible. One day she phoned my office. Since I was in a meeting, I passed on a message to her that I would call her back later. When I reached out to her in the evening, she asked, "Why did you take so long to return my call?" "Shobha, I got time to return my personal calls just a short while ago." "I know that you are very busy," she said, sounding a little concerned, "but it is so difficult to reach you when I want to. Sometimes you are at work or traveling or out for an appointment, even during the hours when I think you might be at home. I only wanted to invite you for my grandson's first birthday. It is on Monday, and you must come at whatever time is convenient for you." "Oh, Shobha, it is almost impossible for me to visit you on a working day, especially Monday. Can't you spare 1 hour for a close friend?" asked Shobha. "The way only old friends can do. I know that you are the chairperson of a foundation and you must be having visitors all the time asking you for grants, but you can always reschedule or refuse to meet them. They will come again, I'm sure." "It isn't that simple," I replied. "With the 2 hours that takes from Jayanagar to your home and back, half my day will be gone. A day at the foundation is filled with many activities, some of which are not easy to explain. For someone who doesn't work there, it may appear to be the apparent simple task of giving money or grants. If you really want to know what I do, then come and shadow me for a day. Maybe then you will get a glimpse into the complicated nature of social work." Enthusiastically, Shobha agreed, and a few weeks later, on a Monday, she joined me for a day at the office. I was happy that she had come. I told her, "You will only observe and not comment or participate as I go about my day. Is that okay?" She smiled and nodded. Meanwhile, I gave my assistant, Asha, a list of people with whom I needed to speak to that morning. Soon the phone rang. Asha sprang into action and answered the call. A voice spoke. "We are from Hubli and know Mrs. Sudha Murty very well. I would like to speak with her." "What is your name, madam?" Usha Patil." Asha turned to me. "Usha Patil is on the line. May I connect her to you?" Usha is a common name in Hubli, and so is the last name Patil. I knew at least 10 Usha Patils from Hubli. A neighbor, a classmate, a cousin's wife, a writer, acquaintance, a temple priest's daughter, and a few more, and I wondered who this person was. Asha seemed to be at a loss, just like me. I took the phone from Asha. "Sudha Murty here," I said. "I am Usha Patil from Kundgol, a village near Hubli. My son needs a job. Do I know you?" "No, but you are from Hubli, that's why I am sure that you will help someone from there." "Ushaji, why did you say that you know me?" "I do know you through newspapers and television," she justified, "but I didn't say that you knew me. Keeping that aside, my son is keen on getting employed soon." I was firm. "I am not responsible for recruiting people at Infosys. Please email the Human Resource Department for this, as they have their own procedure." But if you, but if you, but if you put in a word, they wouldn't refuse your request, she persisted. I'm sorry, Ushaji, but this is a matter of hiring professionals, and employees are hired only after interviews and tests. I run the foundation and don't interfere with the process of another department. Usha wasn't convinced. She sounded reluctant. Then will you give me the details of an appropriate contact? You can send the resume via email, I replied. Please hold on for a moment while I find a pen and take down the email address. I didn't have time to wait and gave the phone back to Asha. Give her the recruitment email address, and from now on, when someone says that they know me well, please also ask if I know them. I went and sat down to check my emails. Lena, my secretary, said, Madam, there are 410 emails for you today. The number was not unusual. Let's separate it based on its category and then start from the bottom. Once that was done, we began. The first was an email describing me as if I were some kind of a goddess. Lena, just read the last line, I said. The request is for a grant to build a temple, Lena explained. The foundation does not help with any religious construction or restoration unless it is of archaeological importance, as declared by the state or central government. Please send our regrets, I said. By the time Lena and I moved to the next email, most of the cell phones began chiming in the office, indicating that we had received several messages. They were all in response to one that said, Infosys Foundation is giving scholarships to all those who apply. Contact the foundation immediately. The phones also began ringing. The news was absolutely untrue. Several years ago, the foundation had offered limited scholarships, but the program had been terminated based on the exit policy at the end of the specified term. Despite this, we were aware that some people were floating this information on the instant messaging application WhatsApp. As a result, students and parents often inundated us with emails, letters, and phone calls. I asked Asha to reply to each query in the same mode that it was received. I knew it would keep Asha busy for a few hours. Once that was done, Lena and I opened the second email. A university wanted to confer an honorary doctorate on me. Lena was thrilled, but I was not. Soon enough, we read the relevant line. Once you receive the doctorate, you will become an alumnus, and we are sure that you will help the university in any way that you can. I scratch your back and you scratch mine. Please decline the doctorate politely, I told Lena. The next request was an invitation to the chief guest for a college's annual day in Mumbai. While I usually can't go to most of the events that come my way, I make an effort to attend at least a few. Lena told me that the event was only for 2 hours, but the travel time to Mumbai and back would take 1.5 days. I considered declining it, but then thought of the students who I always hold dear. If I am going to Mumbai that day for work, I will attend it, I said. She checked my diary. You are going to be in Mumbai for meetings in the afternoon on that date, and there are a few available hours in the morning. Luckily, the venue is close to the airport and you can go there after you land. We can reschedule the flight and you can leave early in the morning from Bangalore. Tell the college management that I will be there slightly early at 9:30 a.m. and must depart by 11 a.m. The shrill ringing of the phone on my desk interrupted our conversation, and Asha immediately took the call. Hello? A few seconds later, she handed me the phone. Kasab is on the line. I was frightened. At the time, Kashyap was a Pakistani militant convicted for the Taj Hotel bombing on 26/11 in Mumbai. As far as I knew, he had been executed, but sometimes nothing is as it seems. Was he really calling me, and why? I told Asha to give me a minute to gather my thoughts and to inform Kasab that I would speak with him. She spoke to him briefly and turned to me. Kashyap is very angry. He is saying that he is a patriotic citizen and is asking me why I am addressing him in this manner. I was confused. What did you say to him, Asha? I called the number from the list you gave me earlier in the morning and told him to hold while I transferred the call to your phone. I never gave you Kashyap's number, nor did I ask you to call someone by that name. Kashyap is dead and gone. Do you even know who he was? I don't know, she replied casually, least bothered about the affairs of the state. Give me the phone. I could hear a man fuming on the other end. Hello, I said. My grandfather was a freedom fighter and I have served the country as an ex-MLA. I am proud of my heritage. How dare you call me Kashyap? I shied. Asha had called Kashyabi and mispronounced his name to sound like that of the notorious terrorist. It was an absolute dishonor and an insult to a true patriot. I am extremely sorry for the confusion, sir. I apologize. This is Sudha Murty. I told my staff to call you so that I could inform you that I wouldn't be able to come for the wedding as I have to travel on the same day. But I will visit your home on my way to the airport. Hearing my voice, Kasabi actually calmed down. After I disconnected the call, I turned to my assistant. Why did you call him Kashyap? Madam, there were 3 phones ringing at the same time. I thought I called him Kashyabi. Maybe he misheard it. Why will I call him a different name on purpose? Meanwhile, the office manager Krishna Murty approached me and said, Madam, the payment vouchers are ready. Our office is cashless and so are its transactions. This policy turned out to be a boon during the demonetization of currency in 2016 as we were relatively unaffected. Prashant, the CSR manager, interrupted us. Did you promise a matching grant to our employees' non-profit arm during your recent visit to Chandigarh? Yes, I did, I replied. It is a good way to involve them in some of our CSR efforts and will inspire them to pull in money for some of the activities. I have encouraged this in other development centers too, such as Hyderabad, Pune, Mangalore, Trivandrum, Chennai, and Bhubaneswar. Prashant's forehead creased with obvious worry. We are overshooting the allocated funds for this year. It doesn't match with our plan for the year. Please review latest budget. I understood his concern. Prashant monitored the finances and kept a close eye on the budget. We will manage it. It is better to have deserving projects, like in the pipeline than to worry about the budget. We can request for more money if needed. There are projects that may get delayed or are not ready yet, so there is no need to worry. Since I was once a professor, I often talk like a teacher to everyone in my office. Most of the time, Prashant and Shruti, the program director, end up being the target of my wisdom sharing talks because they are responsible for the annual balance sheets and reaching our CSR goals. Now, despite my regular interventions, they were often apprehensive when our committees or commitments exceeded the finances in hand. The next phone call was from the management of the Banerghata National Park for a grant update. During the past summer, we had learned that the animals there suffered from an acute shortage of drinking water. The authorities had constructed a tub for the tigers to sit in, but the water had to be changed every few days to avoid infection and disease. Tigers were difficult to treat when they were unwell, and hence the caretakers were always wary about the water. So I called one of our contractors and instructed him to dig bore wells in accessible areas and also construct an overhead water tank. Many tried to dissuade us due to the lack of water in the area, but we went ahead anyway. We had to try for the sake of the animals. The call was to inform us that there was plenty of water in the bore wells. The animals would finally get enough good quality water and remain free from disease as much as possible. I thanked God for this great gesture. I glanced at Lena. She was still busy sorting the emails into various categories such as travel, pending appointments, then like regrets and new initiatives. Everyone was immersed in their work. At times I feel like I do not have much to do, as most of it is appropriately handled. Only a few new proposals, exceptions or escalations usually come my way. It was time for Shruti's appointment with a visitor. She went upstairs to the conference room for the meeting while I began scanning the snail mail kept for me even as the phones kept ringing. After a few minutes, one of our contractors called for an urgent update. Madam, he said, some workers went on holiday a week ago and haven't returned yet. If we have to work with the existing workers alone, the project will be delayed by 1 month. You can't do this, I protested. I have already invited the chief minister for the inauguration and everything has been planned. You must finish it somehow. Madam, please then tell me what to do. I didn't know what he could do, but kept insisting that he should complete the work faster. After a long discussion, he agreed to hasten his work and delay by only 15 days. It would be right on time for the inauguration. Experience has taught me that delays happen in most construction works, no matter how good a person is in project management, and hence I allowed some delay. And then, just then, Shruti requested me to join her for the meeting. I have communicated our decision regarding the proposals, he said, but the team wants to meet you. There are 3 of them. I think it's better to meet them or else they will definitely visit again. At Infosys Foundation, we have our own strategies and policies. For instance, we don't approve grants for political parties and no consideration is given to caste, creed or religion during proposal reviews. There is an exit policy, an internal and external audit, and a third-party assessment for every project, and we are inclined towards releasing money in installments. The project wasn't good fit for us and hence Shruti had chosen to decline it. Here at the foundation, we believe that if we are refusing a proposal, then we must communicate it as soon as possible. Adin Shruta is better than Antani Shruta, which means that an initial disappointment is better than a disagreement at the end. Okay, I will come, I said, and accompanied her upstairs. Most people insist on meeting me. A few think that if they put pressure on me directly, I might give in. But they don't know the truth. Shruti and I are always on the same page. But I decided to meet the visitors to help Shruti. Just as I expected, they elaborated on the merits of their proposal for the next 30 minutes. In the end, I said providing grants is not akin to approving whatever we feel like. Please understand that there are certain systems and processes in place there, and Shruti has communicated the right decision, and unfortunately we will not be able to be a part of this. They were upset, but nothing further could be done at this point. There are times when the company directors forward us letters and requests that come to them. We evaluate them objectively and reject or approve them. I thank the management for never pressuring us or influencing the process. It was time for lunch. Since my house was nearby, I said to Shobha, let's go eat and come back soon. At home, a security guard informed me that my daughter, Akshita, had called. When I called her back, she threw a flurry of questions at me. Where were you yesterday? Are you unwell? Or has something happened there that you aren't telling me? I have been so worried. I was surprised by her tone. I am right here in Bangalore. I was attending meetings all day. Why are you so worried? When I spoke to the security staff yesterday in the morning, they said that you were in the toilet. When I phoned in the afternoon, they again said that you were in the toilet. It was the same story in the evening, and later at night they said that you were sleeping. This morning they said that you had left for office. I sent you an email but didn't hear back. Why were you in the restroom all day? She sounded anxious. Calmly I said, breathe, Akastha. Do some pranayama every day. I had gone for a site visit to check the status of our recently inaugurated toilets. This was followed by other meetings and a panel discussion on how to construct them. I told the security staff that I was going for the toilet project work, and maybe he misunderstood it and only remembered the word toilet. Don't be so afraid. As for your email, I haven't seen it yet as it has been a busy day. I could hear an immediate sigh of relief. After hanging up, I went to the main gate and asked the security guard there, "Didn't I inform all of you that I would be back late because of the toilet project?" "I wasn't on duty, madam. Yesterday's guard has an ear infection and has taken the day off." Well, that explained the guard's inability to hear the day before. But I'm sure, but I sure spent a lot of time in the toilet. I smiled to myself and went back inside. During lunch, actually, my cook and I began making the grocery list. He wanted to know the number of people coming home for dinner and the menu for the night. My mind, however, was still in office matters, and it was difficult to make the sudden switch to the domestic conversation. I said, "Let's talk about it later in the evening. Till then, just make what you can with whatever is available." After a quick lunch, Shobha and I returned to the office. My next appointment was one of that had been put off a long time ago. At first, all the three men who came spoke together and I couldn't understand anything. So I asked them, to speak one at a time. "I have received many awards in this area of work," said the first. The second one added, "and I have the political connections to make things happen. Let me first tell you why we have come here and how we will help the urban poor through the drinking water project," said the third. "Please allow me to ask you a few questions," I said gently. "Have you gone to the proposed area where you intended to work? And if so, what is the distribution of the population and the ratio of the number of males to the number of females?" The three fell silent. I changed the line of questioning. "Where will you get the supply of drinking water from?" No response. "Is there an existing system in place that doesn't work? And if so, why not?" I tried again. With no answers in sight, I gave up. "Please prepare a well-researched proposal, an execution plan with all these answers. After that, we will discuss it at the next internal review. If you give me the details of the location, I will make a personal visit there," I said. "It really doesn't matter who is ruling the area politically or who will bestow awards upon us. We specifically target the underprivileged and hope to help them through our efforts and see them smile." The three men seemed disappointed, most likely because I hadn't committed any funds for their project. While I was saying goodbye, there was a knock on the door and Lena came in. "Madam, you have to reconsider your travel plans. In your absence last week, I received many phone calls from all over the country for project visits in different locations. We have to, allocate the site visits between Prashant, Shruti, and you. I need some of your time to block the dates today." I glanced at the calendar in the room. "Fix my tours for the weekend so I can continue with my routine work on weekdays. If I have to visit Delhi, then plan all my projects visits around the region, including places like Jammu and Lucknow at the same time. I want to avoid unnecessary trips as much as possible." Lena nodded and went back with a determined glint in her eye. She would figure out the jigsaw puzzle of my travel plans herself. I made my way to my room. All the emails had been sorted and directed to the appropriate people. I went through the ones left for me and began responding to them. Next, I switched over to the physical mails. One of my goals is to have a paperless office, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. We still receive hard copies of brochures, request letters, and invitations. Since I am an author, I receive many complimentary books too. It is a running joke that the number of authors exceeds the number of readers these days. Some of the writers request for a forward, others want to me promote their books by stocking them in libraries and schools, and a few want to know my opinion on their books. Some authors send us their original manuscripts and ask us to send it back, which causes unnecessary hassles. The books for libraries are handed over to a selection committee, while the forward and opinion requests are declined most of the time due to my tight schedule. By evening, our trash bins are usually full. Then there are letters from my readers to the foundation office. These are a mixed bag. Some share their experience, some criticize certain aspects of my writing, while others appreciate it. I take these home to answer during my personal hours. My task was interrupted by a call from a news channel. The journalist asked me, "What is your opinion on the current government? What are your thoughts about the demonetization of currency and its execution?" I declined to comment. I may be good at what I do, but I had no expertise in such matters. I began shifting through the letters, some of which I routed to Lena for a suitable reply. There was a bunch of letters from the families of many martyrs thanking the foundation for our small contribution. Two others caught my attention. One was from the central government and another from the state government. Both were reaching out to the foundation to seek help for some projects. These were added to our agenda for the next week's internal review. Lena came in to give me an update. "Madam, I have worked out your travel plans. You will be traveling 15 days a month for the next 3 months. Besides losing most of the weekends, you will also miss your distant niece's wedding and your father's death anniversary. Is that okay?" "That's fine, Lena. Thank you. My father has taught me that work is worship, and I know that he would understand if he was here." Lena handed over my travel details to Krishnamurti, who immediately started arranging my tickets and accommodation at the company guest house wherever possible. Staying at the guest house allows easier coordination of my plans and also allows us to save money that we would otherwise have to spend on hotels. Minutes later, Shruti came by. "I have some good news," she said. "The boys whom we supported in the mathematics Olympiad have got admission in MIT and Caltech." In their media interview, they thanked the foundation profusely and said that our small gift of 10,000 rupees towards their effort pushed them to choose science. There is also an email from Pavagada, the selfless Swamiji who works for blind children, has written that the midday meal program has been successful in making the children stay in school. The donation for their music classes has also made them happy. They even received an award recently. He has sent pictures of their bright little faces smiling with pride. Once he left, I sat in silence for a few minutes. The loud ringing of the phone jolted me out of my thoughts. Out of instinct, I picked up the phone, but Lena was already on the other extension with the caller. The person was screaming at Lena, "I deserve more money from the foundation than what they have given me. You are only a secretary. Connect me to your boss and tell them who I am. If you don't, I will go to the media and tell them about the foundation. So be careful before you respond." I immediately went to Lena in the next room and took the phone from her. "Sir, what is the problem?" I asked. "I requested for 2 crores for a school, but you have given us 2 lakhs. It is a pittance for the foundation. I demand an explanation. I am an influential activist and can tarnish the name of the foundation if I want to." "Sure, I will give you an explanation. We get more than 100 genuine applications and around 200 calls every day. We wouldn't work under any sort of pressure, nor do we care to gain any advantage from our grants. There is an established process in place and we have to distribute the grants to the best of our judgment. We do not increase our grants without a review of the progress made. Experience has taught us that the work speaks itself. Besides, there are trustees who are also involved with the decision making. We may not be there in the foundation at a future date, but the established processes will continue. I must also tell you that we are not afraid of the media because we haven't done anything wrong or under wraps." The man calmed down and cleared his throat. "Well, if we do well and clear the review, then will you help us next year? Maybe. We help any organizations and are not afraid of approaching the good ones ourselves. It is the quality of work that attracts us, and we do not worry about potential threats or the connections of our beneficiaries. I could hear a murmur that vaguely seemed to sound like an apology. I had had a hard day and was in no mood to let him off the hook. Sir, we also have difficult days at the foundation, but we try to ensure that it does not affect our relationships with others. I gave advice that nobody asked me for. A glance at the clock confirmed that it was almost 5:30 p.m. I was planning to stay back a little longer, but Shobha stood up from the chair nearby. I think I will leave, she said. I walked with her till the main gate to see her off. On the way, she passed the reception where we had displayed some of our awards. Are you proud of all these? She asked and pointed at the awards. In my younger days, I was. As the years passed and my experience grew, I realized that my joy was coming from the work and not from these occasional awards. Today, they don't matter much to me personally, but they are important to my organization. Tell me, why do you continue to give your remaining years to this thankless job? She asked. You can sit back, relax, spend time with your grandchildren, go to weddings and birthdays, and reduce a little bit of stress from your life. The truth is that I am the luckiest of them all. I love what I do, and every day is a holiday for me because of it. Who doesn't love a vacation? I grinned. Shobha smiled as she got into the car and nodded. I waved goodbye and went back to work. Thank you so much for being patient and listen to this whole short story along with me. Before I say anything, I would like to apologize. I'm really very sorry for all the noises that you may hear, and I'm certain enough that it may have disturbed and distracted you. And apart from that, if you like this story, do like, share with your friends, and do let me know in the comment section below what is your thoughts on this story, and what kind of books do you want me to read out for you, or what kind of short story do you like, adventures, romance kind of, or life changing some short stories or something like that, or any novels that you have in your mind for me to read out. And soon I will be coming with another short story, and till then, stay happy, stay blessed, and at the same time smile, because that is what people are lacking to in today's world. So yes, thank you.